From our Washington, D.C. studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. In a notable defeat for the Progressive Squad, Congresswoman Cori Bush lost her primary race in St. Louis to prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell. This marks the second setback for the progressive faction in recent months, following Jamal Bowman's recent defeat in New York by the Zionist lobby. Bush's campaign was heavily targeted by Zionist groups. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, and its super PAC, the United Democracy Project, poured nearly $9 million into opposing Bush. With more than $15 million spent, mostly on anti-Bush ads, analysts say that the outcome raises questions about the ability of progressive incumbents to overcome well-funded challengers. They say it also reflects a broader strategy by pro-Israel lobbies to replace critics of Israeli policies with more supportive Democrats. A federal court in Brooklyn heard an unsealed complaint earlier today, charging a 46-year-old man with murder for hire as part of a scheme to assassinate a politician or government officials on U.S. soil. Law enforcement foiled the plot before any attack could be carried out. Asif Raza Merchant is in federal custody in New York. Announcing the indictment, Attorney General Merrick Garland stated that for years the Justice Department has been working aggressively to counter Iran's brazen and unrelenting efforts to retaliate against American public officials for the killing of Iranian General Soleimani. According to court documents, Merchant orchestrated the plot around April 2024 after spending time in Iran, where he has a wife and children. Merchant arrived in the U.S. from Pakistan and contacted a person he believed could assist him with the scheme, according to court documents. Court documents show that that person reported Merchant's conduct to law enforcement and became a confidential source. Elon Musk's controversial statement that, quote, civil war is inevitable, has intensified scrutiny over rising violence in the United Kingdom. The country has been grappling with increasing racist attacks on mosques and immigrants, prompting several nations, including Nigeria, Malaysia, and Australia, to issue travel warnings. Social media, inflamed by Musk's comments, is being blamed for fueling anti-immigration riots across British towns and cities. The UK government has condemned Musk's remark and pledged to address the riots and the spread of false information online. In a related development, a 28-year-old man from Leeds has been charged with using threatening language online to incite racial hatred. According to reports, far-right thugs in the UK are stopping cars to check if drivers are white before letting them pass. The UK Crown Prosecution Service says it's taking a firm stance against online incitement, underscoring growing concerns over digital platforms' roles in real-world violence. In related news, in the U.S., 5 secretaries of state are pressing Elon Musk to address issues with X's AI chatbot, Grok, which has been disseminating false election information. In a letter, voiceover redo. In a letter, officials from Michigan, Minnesota, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Washington state highlighted that Grok had spread incorrect ballot deadline information shortly after President Joe Biden exited the 2024 race. Despite being available only to X's premium users, the misinformation circulated widely across social media. The chatbot continues to spread inaccuracies for 10 days before correction. Officials have urged X to fix Grok and direct users to canivote.org for accurate voting details. With growing concerns about misinformation and its impact on elections, observers say the letter underscores the need for accurate voter information in this critical election year. X, formerly known as Twitter, has yet to respond to a request for comment. In the past 24 hours, Israel has killed 24 Palestinians and injured 110 in Gaza, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The situation is intensifying as Israel orders the evacuation of the Beit Hanun area in Gaza City. This is where Israeli broadcaster Channel 12 reports that Israeli forces are preparing for a major offensive. Israel has so far killed at least 39,677 Palestinians and injured 91,645 in Gaza. These numbers are widely challenged. Israeli attacks have killed 620 Palestinians from the occupied West Bank in the past 10 months since October 7th, the Palestinian Health Ministry said Wednesday. The death toll includes 145 children and 9 women. The International Court of Justice has accused Israel of genocide and ordered an immediate halt to its military operations in the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. Following the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran on July 31st, Yahya Sinwar has been appointed as the new leader of Hamas. Sinwar, who is believed to be the mastermind behind the October 7th attacks on Israeli-occupied territories, is expected to bolster the group's defiance against Israel's war. Observers say his leadership underscores Gaza's central role in the resistance movement. Hezbollah and other allies like Yemen's Houthis have welcomed Sinwar's rise, viewing it as a united front against Israel. Israeli human rights group slams Israel's prisons as torture camps. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. A new report from Israeli human rights group B'Tselem accuses Israeli prisons of operating as, quote, torture camps. Titled Welcome to Hell, the report highlights severe mistreatment of Palestinian detainees since October 7, 2023. Drawing from 55 testimonies, B'Tselem details a systematic policy of abuse in transformed Israeli detention facilities. The report reveals that these prisons, both military and civilian, have been converted into harsh environments where inmates endure relentless pain and suffering. Additionally, a video of an Israeli soldier raping a prisoner have been leaked online in the past 24 hours. One detainee, Fuad Hassan, accounted a soldier's chilling greeting upon arrival at Migdalgo prison, saying, "Welcome to hell." The selection of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as Kamala Harris's vice presidential running mate has sparked a debate. Some Jewish Americans are wondering if Harris's decision to ignore Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was influenced by his pro-Israel stance. The controversy surrounding Shapiro intensified due to his progressive criticism of his strong support for Israel and his past statements on the Israel war on Gaza. Shapiro, who has volunteered for the Israeli military and made racist remarks about Palestinians, has been criticized from various quarters. He's considered overly pro-Israel and insensitive by some. Some Israeli newspapers accuse progressives of anti-Semitism and claim Shapiro has been unfairly attacked because of his Jewish heritage. Many others claim his stance on Israel and Palestine disqualifies him for the role. David Keon, a Jewish writer who was one of the most prominent voices against Shapiro, said this is clearly a victory for those who made Shapiro's past an issue. Nathan Demiant, the Washington director of the Orthodox Union, whose constituency leans Republican, said he was pleased with the choice and Harris's reasoning. Harris's campaign has dismissed suggestions that Shapiro's religion influenced her choice, emphasizing her decision was based on qualifications, not identity. New revelations have put Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas back in the spotlight. Senator Ron Wyden has uncovered undisclosed private jet trips Thomas and his wife Virginia Thomas took on billionaire Harlan Crow's aircraft. That includes a 2010 flight from Hawaii to New Zealand. This follows previous reports of Thomas enjoying 17 private jet rides funded by Crow since 2016. Despite recent updates to his financial disclosures, Thomas has yet to fully reveal other lavish trips on Crow's yacht. Observers say Wyden's probe highlights a troubling pattern of unreported gifts, fueling calls for stricter judicial ethics reforms. As debates over ethics intensify, the Senate is pushing for comprehensive reforms and even a special counsel investigation into those ethical breaches. In June, the advocacy group Fix the Court published a database listing 546 gifts valued at $4.7 million given to 18 current and former justices, mostly between 2004 and 2023, that the U.S. Federal Trade Commission identified. The database also lists, quote, likely gifts received by the justices and their estimated values, bringing the grand total to 672 gifts valued at $6.6 million. Thomas led the pack with 193 FTC-identified gifts, collectively valued at more than $4 million. Of these, he listed only 27 in financial disclosure reports. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned of the clear and present danger of nuclear weapons. In a message to mark the 79th anniversary of the bombing of the Japanese city of Hiroshima by the U.S., Guterres said that the nuclear threat is real. The August 6, 1945 bombing of Hiroshima during World War II left 140,000 people dead. Another atomic bomb dropped on the city of Nagasaki 3 days later killed 74,000 people. Guterres called on the world to stand together to condemn this and to find new solutions to bring nuclear disarmament to life. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, along with numerous human rights groups, are calling on New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams to reject an anti-Muslim float at the upcoming India Day parade on August the 18th. The controversial float commemorates the 1992 destruction of the Babri Masjid by Hindu militants. It has drawn criticism for its inflammatory imagery and associations with far-right groups. Co-signers of the protest letter include prominent organizations such as the Indian American Muslim Council and Hindus for Human Rights. They argue that displaying this float celebrating the Ram temple built on the mosque's ruins will incite further religious tensions and undermine New York City's values of diversity and inclusion. The coalition is urging immediate action to prevent the float's appearance and protect the city's commitment to peace. The letter also highlights concerns about the Indian consulate's partnership with far-right groups to display the float. Event organizers have history of spreading hate speech and exploiting laborers. The Indira Gandhi Cultural Center in Bangladesh's capital Dhaka was burned to ashes in a student movement protest which saw Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fleeing to India this week. Indira Gandhi is the former Prime Minister of India who helped establish Bangladesh by invading East Pakistan. Reports suggest unverified arrests of Indian intelligence agents. The Supreme Court Bar Association of Bangladesh has demanded the arrest and return of Hasina and her sister, Sheikh Rehana. The New York Times quotes student leader Nahid Islam saying that it will not be enough for Sheikh Hasina to flee. We will bring her to justice. India and Bangladesh have suspended rail and air services, disrupting trade and travel between the two nations. Indian carriers, including Air India and Indigo, have grounded flights to and from Bangladesh. Railway services are on hold until secure border passage is ensured. Meanwhile, Indian External Affairs Minister Subramanyam Jaishankar has assured assistance to Hasina. About 8,000 Indians have returned to India, while 12,000 remain in Bangladesh. Bangladeshi immigration authorities are preventing former government leaders from departing the country. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Your support is needed more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content in North America and around the world. Donate now by visiting Muslim Network TV/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum and good night.